Hi, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Timothy with TimothyGroup.com, and thank you for stopping by this week's edition of Tea Time with Tim. In just a little bit, I'm going to reveal what kind of tea we're going to be having today, as well as the type of fruit that goes with it, and we'll be serving it to you a little bit later. Today, we'll be blending and serving blackberry black fruit tea and pineapple, brought to you by Nutstop. So we have some dried pineapple here that we're going to slice and dice, and I'm going to try to use a machine, although last week it wasn't working very well, but we're going to try again this week. So blackberry fruit black tea with pineapple, and Deja's downstairs if you guys heard her. Alright. As many of you know, I like to pair the loose leaf tea with some dried fruit right now. And when summertime comes along, I might transition to fresh fruit. So I don't know if you can hear right now, but I have the dehydrator running in the background, dehydrating some blueberries. So I'm hoping that will be the following week's fruit to go in with our blend. Not to spoil it though. So just act like you haven't heard that part. But anyways, we'll see though too. Because I haven't decided if I want to do the blueberries yet. But the idea is that I want to see if this machine works again, because I had a little bit of trouble with the machine last time. I get it's a small handheld, but I really thought it was going to do what I needed it to do. So we're going to break these up just a little bit, try to get them started, and use the little lever to see how well this slices and dices for us. Try to save us a little bit of time. That way we can get your tea put together and served a little bit early tonight. So I'm going to continue to do a little bit more of this and put the lid on it. Let's see if that's a good start, right? There we go. I guess you guys can't see too much what's going on. And I think the cord, no, the cord's probably still good. But I did have to fix the cord last time. And yeah, I think I'm going to get a different machine because the fruit's a little too tough for this. So I'll get back to you guys in just one moment. I went back to using a knife because that seems to be the best way to do it. Unfortunately, although I can pop open the machine piece to fix the handle for it, it's more of a pain than it's really worth. But I really do gotta get a machine to slice and dice for me. So, but it's alright. Only because I'm at the point where I'm doing enough orders that I really gotta speed things up. So, also I was gonna say for a little bit later today too, I also started doing a new additional job to go with it. And I want to make sure that I have time to get everything done. I'm going to finish cutting up these and getting them ready to go on the baking pan for you guys. Deja's saying hi to you guys too. So she knows I've been gone for a good part of the day, so she was asking about me, and then she also knew too that I was on here, so she's asking about you guys, even though she's pretending that she's cleaning herself right now. She was actually asking how you guys are doing. Ain't that right, Deja? You're asking how these guys are doing? So she kinda says yes. There we go. Now that we have the pineapple diced up into little pieces, we are now going to turn it on to about 225 degrees or so. Turn the light on, so hopefully I'll remember, and start baking the fruit. So that way we can get any extra moisture that might be inside of it completely out and have it ready to be bagged pretty soon. Alright, now that it's been about an hour, we're just going to turn off the stove, turn off the light, and go see how our pineapple is. I can smell it, so it's definitely doing some good. we're going to let this cool down, and then we're going to start blending it right away. We're going to do our best to continuously stir this and get it really blended, because the idea is that every spoonful you want to have at least a little bit of pineapple in there. Normally I've been doing, I think, too much dried fruit, and I think this is just a little on the light side. But also too, I'm adding in these blue cornflower petals right here that have an extremely high price to them, but thankfully we're just going to be using them for garnish to try to lighten up that contrast right here. So it's going to be hard to say if we can see the flowers going to be mixed into these, but the idea is to give it a little bit of pop, a little bit of color, and make sure that there's a little bit of pineapple in every little piece of our blackberry black tea we have. So get those pieces nice and mixed in. Here are some of those blue flowers that we're going to add in. I think we're going to do another little bit. Oops, hold on. After we add those, then we're just going to mix everything in and start to bag it, so that way I can serve you guys a cup of this tea soon. So just a little bit more mixing, and then we're going to get ready for our hot water and our presentation. Now that we have everything, I'm going to make you guys a great cup of tea. So what you want is you want your bag of tea, and I have my loose leaf bags at $8 on timothygroup.com. We want to have an infuser, have a cup, and have a little spoon to go with it. So we use our little spoon to make a serving size from the baggie, and then we put it into our infuser. So I already did it for you guys, so that way you don't have to do it at home. And as you can see, maybe there's a little bit of tea already in there. So there we go. See, now you only want to do about a spoon, because everything in here will rehydrate. And I don't know if you can hear it right now, but the water is starting to boil, so it's going to be just in time. Once we got boiling water, we want to insert our infuser inside the cup, and then just pour in the boiling hot water right on top. That is going to be extremely hot, obviously, so definitely do it with some caution, some care, and then we're going to let that sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. I do closer 15 to 20, only because it is really hot. But as you can see, it's already starting to change a little bit of color, and that's what we like to see. So we're gonna, I see we got a little bit of dust that came out of these. Sometimes too, the seals aren't always the tightest. The little heart-shaped infuser is actually better at holding it in than these are. But, you know, I don't mind. And I'm sure many of you guys at home don't mind either. And if you do want a cleaner cup, you can also skim it off or use an infuser that's made sure it's shut all the way. I use this, you know, all the time. So as you can see, sometimes the jar's open a little bit. Or, you know, if you don't get all of your leaves in there correctly, it might, you know, keep it open a little bit. But the idea is that most of it's going to stay held inside right there. Now that we let it cool down a little bit, we're going to take out our seeper. I mean, you could drink with your infuser in as well, but I'd take it out. I'm not sure why, but I'm sure you could leave it in there, stir it, whatever. But yeah, I take it out. Some would say that you can take them out if you don't want it to be so bitter, but this isn't a bitter tea, so we don't have to worry about that. But that's a nice color, isn't that? Now let's get ready to taste. Here we go. you definitely want to, try to smell a little bit, not so much like wine, but, you want to definitely give it a little bit, and then a little bit of taste, kind of swish a little bit. I gotta say though, people who like pineapple might be a little disappointed because I don't taste the pineapple in here. And I was at least trying to go for a little bit of pineapple. So, the blackberry kind of overpowers it. So, maybe I'll work on this tea blend to get a little bit more fruity flavor. But I'm glad that, we taste it ahead of time before we bring it to market. That way we know these things, right? But also, too, the tea is fantastic stirred by itself, just as the blackberry black tea is concerned. With this type of tea and with the blackberry, they don't add the fruit. I don't know why, but apparently they add the leaves. And I guess that gives it the color and the flavor. And maybe because they also don't want the fruit to overpower the black, because you definitely have that black tea taste. So, apparently the camera, the telephone's been a little bit stuttering. So forgive if the video is not going to be perfect on this part right here. Deja says hi, by the way. Say hi, Deja. So we'll see if we get a photo of her before we finish. All your friends want to say hi. They're so happy that you're having tea with them. So you stop crying as soon as I record you, right? You're like, it's okay. I'm getting attention from Daddy. It's all good. So as soon as I give you attention, you go back to being a normal kitten, huh? So, well, ladies and gentlemen, Deja, she's happy that she got to serve your tea too. And I'm sure she'll start getting chatty as soon as I start recording again. By the way, if you made it this far, congratulations, because I know there's been some choppy spots in there, and I'm going to keep it in there too. Partly is because I can learn better on editing, but also because, life's not perfect and nothing is in it either. And I know too that YouTube and the YouTube influencers, some of us, can be guilty on trying to make things appear to be perfect. I am not good at that, so we're gonna keep it in. But one thing I can say though, don't ever buy Motorola. I mean, you can do what you want, but Motorola has not done me good. So, or I should say that there's better phone companies out there than Motorola. I've had LG, I've had Samsung, there we go. And they've all had their, pros and cons, of course. But I actually spent more of this time getting a Motorola. And I'm telling you, I am not impressed with it. So I'm sure too parts of it could be of my own doing. But also, we've had cell phones for most of our lives, if not all of our lives. So, I'm sure it's more the phone and the software than me, but, you never know. Never know. I really do like the tea is really good, especially for like allergies and stuff right now. My tonsils get really swollen and, get really irritated. So, the warm, hot tea really helps. And also it's very medicinal, very soothing too. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cut this short partly because I just got me a gig recently where I'm doing cleanup for a construction site for a new temple being built. And that's definitely been keeping me busy. So, unfortunately, too, I know I show you guys do a little, show you a little Fallout or a little Oblivion or something. But while I was away, I was doing some of my responsibilities for, work and dinner and all that. But, as always, I hope you guys enjoy. If you made it this far, oh my goodness, so much thanks. And as always, you guys are great. Love the support. Love that after a couple of months of just doing this, I'm actually making progress. And also, too, is it really touches my heart, when that, knowing that you guys also enjoy watching videos too. Because I gotta admit, definitely the content could be better. I could make better content, and people want to blame the algorithm. Part of it is me learning. Part of it is, you know, what kind of features we have and all this other stuff, our experience, what have you. And part of it is just, making a lot of rough videos until they get better. And also, too, I think you guys and also me appreciate a sense of authenticity. And here, Tea Time with Tim, you're definitely going to get the authentic Timmy. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your evening, enjoy your tea, and have a good night.